They told me to return the $50,000 or don't come home, like I was some kind of failure. What they didn't know was I was about to give them a reason to mean it. Before I get into this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and share this story, because what happened next changed everything. For years, my parents treated me like I was a mistake. After college, I borrowed that $50,000 from them to start my own little business. They called it a waste of money, said I'd never make it, and every family dinner ended with them reminding me how foolish I was. I stayed silent, working day and night, hiding every success because they didn't deserve to know. I wasn't just fighting for my dream, I was fighting to prove them wrong. Last Thanksgiving, everything exploded. They cornered me in front of the entire family, voices sharp as knives, demanding I pay back every cent. Right now. Return the $50,000 or don't come home again, my mother said coldly. The room went silent and all eyes were on me. But that moment, that was when I stopped hiding. I smiled, calm but fiery inside, and said, "You want the money back? Here's something you didn't expect." Then I pulled out the documents, my company's contracts, a letter from a major investor ready to pump millions into what I built quietly all these years. The same company they said would fail had just landed a deal bigger than anything in the family. Their faces changed from smug to stunned. The very people who called me a loser were now forced to face the truth. But I wasn't done yet. The real twist was still coming, and it was going to make them regret ever doubting me. What they didn't realize was that the $50,000 wasn't just a loan. It was the seed of something they'd never see coming. They were frozen, eyes wide like they'd swallowed something bitter. My mom's usual sharp words vanished into silence, and my dad's smug smile crumbled faster than I ever imagined. That investor? It wasn't just any backer. It was a tech giant ready to pour millions into my startup, something I built while they laughed behind my back. But here's the kicker. While they were busy demanding I return the money, I was quietly buying the property under our family home. Yeah, the very house they said I'd never afford. Every payment, every document, they never saw it coming. When I finally told them, their shock turned to anger. "How could you do this behind our backs?" they shouted. But I just looked at them calmly. "Because you only saw me as a failure, not someone who fights." The family dinner that night shattered every old rule. I wasn't the poor daughter anymore. I was the one holding the cards. They wanted me to leave. I was ready to walk away with everything they'd ever taken for granted. And the biggest surprise? My older brother, the one who always sided with them, suddenly started looking nervous, because he knew if I chose, I could cut him out of the will completely. But instead of revenge, I had something else planned, something that would change all our lives forever. They thought I was just some spoiled kid playing with money, but I was already steps ahead. While they were busy yelling and threatening, I quietly finalized the deal that made my startup worth millions. The same company that dismissed me now needed me. My father, always the loudest in the room, tried to mask his shock with fake bravado, but his eyes betrayed him. My mother's usual cold stare softened for a brief moment, probably realizing she had underestimated me for far too long. Even my brother, who'd always been their favorite, stopped mid-sentence, clearly unsure how to respond. But the real power move? I had secretly transferred the deed of our family house into my name months ago. Every payment made in silence while they mocked my failure. Now I was not only the richest in the family, but also the owner of what they considered their kingdom. "You don't get to control me anymore," I told them quietly, watching their faces go pale. "This isn't just about the money, it's about respect, something I never got from you." That night, the family dinner ended with an awkward silence and shattered pride. I walked away knowing that the $50,000 they demanded back was nothing compared to the empire I was building. But little did they know, this was only the beginning of my comeback. And the next move? It was going to shock them even more. Don't miss what happens next. The silence after that dinner wasn't peaceful. It was heavy, loaded with all the things they'd never said out loud. My parents stopped calling, stopped asking about me, like I'd disappeared. But I didn't mind. I was busy building something they could never take away. Then, out of nowhere, my brother showed up at my office. His usual arrogance was gone, replaced by a nervous edge. "Emily, we need to talk," he said, looking over his shoulder like he was afraid someone would hear. He admitted he'd made a huge mistake siding with them all these years and wanted in on the company, but I saw through it. This was his last chance to save face, and I wasn't about to let him off easy. I told him, "You had your chance. If you want in now, you'll have to earn it like I did." Watching his face fall was priceless. That's when I realized the real battle wasn't just with my parents anymore. It was with every person who ever doubted me. And just when I thought I had control, a shocking secret about my past surfaced, something that could destroy everything I'd worked for. They always said family was supposed to have your back, but mine? They tried to bury me alive. After my brother's visit, things got stranger. I started receiving anonymous messages, cryptic warnings about my past, about things I thought were long buried. At first, I brushed them off, but then, one night, I found an old box hidden in the attic of the house I now owned. Inside were letters from my father. Letters that revealed a truth no one ever told me. Turns out, the $50,000 loan wasn't just money to start my business. It was tied to a secret deal my parents made years ago, a deal that put my childhood, my future, and my reputation at risk. The money came from a source they never wanted me to know about. And if the truth came out, it could ruin the entire family name, including my business. I sat on the floor, heart pounding, as everything I thought I knew shattered. Why hadn't they told me? Why use me as a pawn? And worse, how was I supposed to protect myself and my company when the people who were supposed to love me hid this from me all along? My phone buzzed again. A new message. "Your past isn't as clean as you think. Watch your back." I felt the weight of betrayal heavier than ever, but this time, I wasn't going to be silent or weak. I was going to expose everything, every lie, every secret, every betrayal. And as I prepared to confront my parents again, I knew one thing for sure. The next family gathering would be nothing like before. They thought they broke me, but they were about to see what happens when the underdog fights back with the truth. They thought they had the last word when they demanded I return that $50,000, but they didn't know I was already holding all the cards, and then some. The truth about that secret deal my parents hid, I turned it into my ultimate advantage. I hired a lawyer, not just any lawyer, the best one in the city, who dug deep into the past agreements and found that my parents had broken contract terms that could have cost them everything. Suddenly, the family name they fought so hard to protect was on the line, and the company I'd built quietly became their shield instead of their shame. At the next family gathering, the same room where they mocked me, laughed at my dreams, and told me I'd fail, I walked in with a calm they couldn't break. I wasn't the scared girl they once dismissed. I was the woman who owned their house, who signed million-dollar deals, and who held the truth that could destroy their world. When I revealed what I'd discovered, their faces went pale. The angry words they had prepared evaporated into silence. My brother, who once mocked me the most, stood frozen, realizing I wasn't just a threat, I was their reckoning. But I didn't stop there. I made it clear. I wasn't here to destroy the family, only to demand respect and honesty. You wanted me to return the money or stay away. I'm choosing neither. I'm here to rewrite our story, I said. Voice steady, but fierce. That night, everything changed. They couldn't deny my success anymore, and the secrets they kept were finally out in the open. I wasn't just the daughter who borrowed money. I was the woman who transformed that loan into a billion-dollar empire, quietly building while they doubted me. As I walked away from that meeting, I felt lighter, free from their judgment, stronger than ever. The girl they pushed away had come back to claim what was hers, and this time, no one could stop me. If you think this story is over, Think again, because sometimes the biggest victories come from the darkest betrayals. Thanks for staying with me. If this inspired you, share it with someone who needs to hear it.